Thank you, Rishav, for coming on today's episode of Mera Pehla Crore. I'm really happy to have you here. And you've done some really amazing things in your life, which I am personally inspired by a lot because you've been a student entrepreneur for as long as I can see, and because I've not known you for long. So I just was going through your LinkedIn profile. It's never ending. You've done like so many things, and you've worked in so many places, and you are invested in so many places. So it's just amazing to see the kind of portfolio that you bring to the table for your own self. And now you're running a company called Picxele, and it's done more over 10 crores of revenue so far. And I think that's a great achievement that not many people are able to uh, back in their lives. And there are a lot of founders, but they can't still say that we've earned more than 10 crore rupees in our lifetime of the product. So that's great to have you on board, and I'm so excited to learn more about your journey.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting. And yeah, obviously appreciate Osama like for bringing me and like happy to chat.
The pleasure is all mine. But if you could just introduce yourself in your own words, because I tried to introduce you as well. But if you could introduce yourself for the audience, I think that would be a great way to start.
Yeah, definitely. So as my name speaks, I'm Rishabh. I run my company Pixel. We are into gig economy space. We get companies work done via freelancers and part-time workers in a managed process in task and project-based model. So when I say task and project-based model, we started with in 2019 when I completed my college. Obviously, I was researching and building the product while I was in college itself, in like third or fourth year. From there, actually, we launched Pixel in June 2019, soon after my graduation. And initially, for 3 to 5 years, 3 to 3.5 years, actually, we were mostly into small tasks, like getting distribution of app, surveys, market research, or financial product distribution. We started with this. We got good traction. Like we reached to around 7.5 lakh users. We distributed around our users able to earn around 6 to 6.5 crore rupees in span of 3 years,
Yes.
and Corona was the peak time. But down the
Yeah.
line, actually, we moved to this managed freelancer segment. So as of now, in
Okay.
today's market, if you see, if any companies, if I talk about the 90% of the company which are early stage startups or the mid-sized startup, if they
Yeah.
want to outsource their any of their work, be it tech, content, data, design, marketing,
Yeah.
finance, anything which is skilled based work, they will either go to
Yeah.
an agency or they will go to an individual freelancer in the market. The
Yeah.
problem arises, finding a good agency is difficult, and if in case you go to premium agencies, the charges are insane for them
Yeah.
as to the stage they are in. Secondly,
Yeah.
working with individual freelancers again is a challenge. You need to hunt them, you need to train them, you need to give them work. If someone goes off in between, again you need to find another person.
Yeah.
So at Pixel, we didn't want to make a marketplace where you come and pick freelancers and you
Yeah.
manage it. So what we did is like we take up the work as a company, as an agency. If we
All
talk
right.
about agency, we understand the scope of work, we make the processes, we note down the requirements, we make the systems, and once we onboard the company, we allocate freelancers to work on the project, and we manage things end to end. So we will be there in order to ensure the quality, deliverability, and assurance of the work, and all the credibility and credentials is with us. So that's how
All
we
right.
operate. So in terms of any work, it can be tech, social media, content, data, design, LinkedIn, anything
Yeah.
we across the sector. The best part is that we don't hire people actually. All are our freelancers. So it gives us lot many diverse scope to try out different types of work.
Yeah.
And obviously from different people, we need not stick to one person, because if I start hiring, whether the
Yeah.
person does good or bad, I need to stick that person. I cannot reach
Yeah.
him on daily basis or him or her.
True.
That's the concern, and that's where the things get stuck. So we figure
Yeah.
out the process that we will get the work done by freelancers. Our main people, our internal team members will build a strategy, will be the POC of the companies, will manage things end to end. So that's what we do at Pixel. Apart from that, I started investing in startups in 2021 January. As of
Right.
today, I invested in 60 startups. So
Yeah.
2023, in 2024, I'm not invested in any startup as of now. I might
Yeah.
start again in 2025 or end of 2024. So that's where, because I wanted to take a pause in terms of checking that what's the next big sector or next
Yeah.
big will happen, because D2C, fintech,
Yeah.
SaaS, all
You've
these things.
covered it all. I saw
Yes,
through
yes,
your
yes.
profile. You covered it all. Yeah.
Yes. So now the things which we see around is like either AI, deep tech,
Yeah.
climate tech, all these things. Now I need to understand what all those
Yeah.
things are. Then
True.
only I can go and invest. I don't want to do blind investment where I don't know anything. So
True.
that's the main purpose. And so yeah, that's about me.
But Oh, I have a question that is coming out of curiosity, that you've invested in so many good startups, and these are not unknown startups. These are very well known and big brands that you've invested in the last 2 years. How are you finding these brands, or how are these brands finding you? Are you part of some group where the like deck comes and you're just like, okay, I would like to invest in this? Because I've only invested in one, which was a friend's startup,
Mhm.
like an acquaintance startup. So I didn't like, I just saw it on LinkedIn. I approached him directly. That was my journey. But I don't know how things work professionally. But like serial investors, like such as yourself, who consistently have invested in many startups.
So there are definitely groups. I'm also been a part of multiple groups, but I avoid investing via that because then the personal touch,
Right.
personal communication with the founder lags. Obviously, I don't want
Right.
to speak with the founder daily. So
Yeah.
two things happens. One is like early stage investments, like I'm investing in the first round or being the first investors. Over there, actually, either they approach me or someone refers to me. Then I see that
Okay.
what's their intention. I speak to them. I understand those things and take a time eventually before I invest. Some of the companies
Yeah.
I also land up as an advisor or mentor to them, actually get that
Okay.
particular kind of equity also over there. That's the
Yeah.
one way of it. Second is like growth stage startups, actually, where you come in the later stage, pre-series A, series A kind of a thing, actually. So these all are either been one of my client actually before, or been my
Okay.
friend, or some of the people, some of the founders of such companies were about to invest in Picxele in 2021. So when they
Okay.
started
Can
their
go
company,
ahead.
actually I invested in their company. So there are like three such startups like that.
All right.
So such kind of scenarios, all being connected via referrals or here and there, all those things.
Yeah.
So that's where, and obviously when you invest in a later stage, so there's a syndicate model actually where they create
Okay.
SPVs and via that we invest because obviously lower ticket size investors like 2 lakh, 3 lakh rupees, they cannot invest directly in the later stage because
Yeah.
they can invest, but becomes difficult as
Yeah.
compared to as in the first rounds or the first two rounds. So that's how the
True.
things. Personally, I'm not ran after any startup like if you are raising, I want to be an
Yeah.
investor.
Yeah.
Because if that particular bond doesn't like
Exist.
fix between the founder and the investor, then money obviously is not that big part over here. It's because the bond and what all things you guys can do together. It's more
Yeah.
about bringing the people together actually.
Right. So money is just a medium that people use to make their bond even stronger and have a longer
Correct.
relationship.
In mostly for the angels, that's the medium. Obviously, when
Yeah.
you go to the VCs part, then it becomes a very different game actually.
True. True. I think a very good movie that I watched on this subject was uh, Upstart on Netflix. It's an
Uh,
Indian movie, and I think it really beautifully. It didn't do very well uh, at the time, but I think it explained a lot of things in the startup ecosystem very beautifully. Of how, like, we keep talking about, and like all the jargons that pitch decks need to be like this and that, and when that guy, like the founder of the company in the movie, when he meets like someone like a SoftBank chairperson who's willing to invest hundreds of millions of dollars in the company, and they're just like talking about the deck, and she's just like, don't tell me about the deck, tell me what moved you to start this company, tell me your story, what's your why. So then when he tells his her like tells her his story, that is why she invests in the company, otherwise she did not
I
care
think
about.
that company in that medical medicine app they built
Yeah,
something
yeah.
that
it,
movie
it, it was a medical like medicine transport app, like if you
transport app.
transfer, yeah, if you're going to another city you can just take, or like some place where the pharmacies are not so accessible but you're
Correct.
traveling there daily, so you could be the means of uh, like like getting the medicine there, or to the hospital, or to the patients, or to clinics, something. I think that
Yes,
was a very clever idea for even a movie. Like why isn't someone working on that?
exactly.
But I think there comes a lot of challenges, because even pharmacies faces a lot of hassle with the government because they're dealing in the medical space. But like I was just wanting to share that experience of the movie with you. But um, I think you have said on your LinkedIn profile that you worked like 43 work from home internships during your college, and then you went on to start researching about Pixel in your college. When were you studying, like, and how were you managing 43 internships?
So see, in engineering college, people don't study actually. Okay.
Okay.
So either they go to class, they obviously they need to go to class because of attendance.
Yeah.
People don't go and listen the lecture. It's a fact.
Yeah.
Second, after call, you start studying for your exams either one day before. And if you're super studious, 1 week before. That's how I have seen actually. And I used to study in the morning. Exams are at 9, I will start at 4 a.m. So, initial first year, actually, I was very much focused. Later on, also, I never got
Yeah,
any kind of failures in any of the subject. Actually, I passed all the
yeah,
exams without any detention or something like that.
yeah,
So that was good thing which I always appreciate for myself, that if I did my startup, I didn't got detained in any
yeah,
subject, or
yeah,
neither my attendance got fallen short. So,
yeah,
second year actually, I accidentally applied to one of the so one of the company for an internship via Internsala. So via that I
yeah.
applied actually. So I landed up internship. So that was a marketing internship. I never knew word like marketing itself. For me, seeing that someone is calling an Uber, Ola via mobile was very shocking, because I came from a tier two, tier three city. It was that time, it
Okay.
was in between tier two, tier three. Now, obviously,
Yeah,
Uber came, Rapido came, Zomato came.
yeah.
So now it's been expanding. But during that time, I never saw that actually. And neither knew actually. I didn't got the mobile
Which
also.
city was this?
Asansol in West Bengal.
Asansol, right?
So it's in West Bengal. So I didn't
Yeah,
have the mobile also, that I will search that what is Ola, Uber, etc. No such knowledge. So for me, it was very shocking. So they used to give some kind of work. I used to do it, and then I
yeah,
liked it. So and that's where I started applying for any random internship which I saw in the internet. And during 2016, the major thing was new companies were coming.
yeah.
They used to offer
The startup ecosystem was
uh,
booming.
free internships they used to offer. So most of my
Yeah,
internships were unpaid. So I used to just apply. They wanted students to work on their products. And during that time, that B2C industries was there.
yeah.
Later on, we have seen this B2B boom came in
Right,
industry.
right.
During that time, B2C consumer facing in
Yeah.
people companies were mostly coming.
Oyos, Flipkarts, and
Yeah,
Lenskart, and
and mostly mobile application kind of a thing actually.
yeah,
So that's why I kept on doing. I did all kind of internship apart from tech internship. So all were
yeah,
work from. So from there, I got the understanding that companies do need people to get their work done, but they were struggling actually. So because I was one of the intern, like me, there
yeah,
were hundreds of interns for the company, but people
yeah,
don't reply, people don't revert. They were
yeah,
frustrated. They had one person to manage all these people. I thought that
yeah,
instead of they managing people, I can have good set of people at my end, and I can bring in work from the companies and get the work done from the same set of people. Like 10
yeah,
companies, 200 people are there, it will be done. So I made
yeah,
the group like that in third year of beginning. And in WhatsApp itself, I went to some companies where I interned. I picked up some work. I started getting it done. I understood that this is how all different kind of things happened. Multiple things happened. And down the line, after 1 year experimentation, I understood that it can grow. We can make an
yeah,
application. So that was the entire journey of finding a particular problem, being in the problem, understanding the possibilities, and to make the app.
yeah. But I think that's very insightful of you, and you were doing this in 2016 and 17 time.
Correct.
So I tried my hand at the same problem in 2020, I think, when the COVID first hit, and I was calling my venture "Job Na Milegi Dobara." So it was the same notion because I was working at my HQ at that point of time, and I used to see that we need a person, and I was managing a couple of interns myself. So I realized that there's a big problem in management and like getting these interns, and there are some really good interns out there, and in like the interns actually helped the company my HQ grow multiple X,
Correct.
like not full-time employees but more than full-time employees. As interns they were able to help like replicate the processes intricately, and so that we were able to grow like 10x in the
Hmm.
1.5 year period after that. So I realized that that's a great opportunity if you were able to connect the right intern to the right company, even if it's for a short period of time. they're like
Understood.
uh, they're like 6 months mandatory internships in engineering
Exactly, it
colleges.
was there during college.
Exactly, exactly. So I think if you're able to connect them with the right people instead of them going to JP Morgans and big companies, I think they will be able to create a more bigger impact. So that was
Correct.
the idea that
But
I
the
was working with.
concern is like during my time, actually, when I was in college, the
Yeah.
compulsory part of doing internship was in a tech company. You need to do a tech internship because I was in
Okay.
IT. So you
Okay.
cannot so all the internship which I did in it was applicable in the third year actually. So all the
Yeah.
internship
Yeah.
did in second year, it was not applicable because all were work from home.
Yeah.
Secondly, none of them were in tech. But
Yeah.
obviously, when I started my company in third year, actually, I saw that
Yeah.
I give the certificate of my company only that I have interned in this company. and I built the website. So it was just a basic website actually.
Yeah,
So that I told that, and in fourth year said that I built the Picxele application. So like this two internships passed. So
yeah,
obviously it's a tech. Being an engineer, you need to do in the same domain actually as per
yeah.
the yeah.
So we were hiring from engineering colleges only, like Punjab Engineering College, and those people allow their students to go out of their domain as well and get into sales and marketing and BD and any creative other jobs that outside of their domain that they want to explore in. But they also were working in tech as well. Some people, some interns were for tech. So but they were very much preferring the finance segment of the market, like JP Morgans and big fours that were hiring from there. So they were looking for them, but some settled for startups at 10, 15,000 stipend. But they didn't need the money. They were coming from an affluent family,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
they
obviously.
just needed the experience. So I just like working with those guys. If you ever want people, I would personally always recommend people that go for Punjab Engineering College students. You will be surprised. They're very capable. They're very, very capable. And you will be like, I've worked with PEC students in many companies, like,
Okay.
and they're so capable that like I told you, we scaled my to multiple X's in span of 6 months. I had another friend hire them for their company. They were able to prove that they don't have a product market fit, which is also a very important thing to do, but like with integrity, not by lack of trying, but with all the efforts that they had put in. They realized that they don't have the product market fit because they were in an edtech space and COVID bubble was dying out, so they had to shut the shop. And so that's my personal recommendation to everyone: like, do try PEC students as interns. They're great and they have a good sense of understanding and they're very capable. uh, so yeah, that is my 2 cents for anyone who's wanting to hire interns in general.
Then definitely
But
try someday.
yeah, but like I've seen many like models uh, work in the same way that you're working, like in at Pixel. And so, but what differentiates your model about other, like compared to maybe Flexible? And there's a company called Flexible for tech services, or TopTal, who are really careful about the people that they choose to bring as talent on their platform, and they manage everything end to end, like you said, as a company. And what I personally face, because I also run a marketing agency and I've worked with a lot of freelancers, they leave in between.
No,
And the transition time from one freelancer to another, the knowledge transfer, the adoption of strategies, the understanding of concepts just is not the same. If even if you are able to comfortably switch. So how are you managing all of these challenges?
okay. So see, number one thing actually, so I know there are multiple companies. We don't say we are very unique. The only unique thing for us is number one, we know how to manage people. So that's
Yeah.
the best thing for
How big
us.
is your team? Like the core team who's helping you manage?
Internal eight,
Eight.
including. So we know how to manage people. So I've been doing this from like around now 7, 8 years. So that
Yeah.
thing, I'm assured that from which freelancer will leave the work in between, who will work, who will not work. That I can sense in 5 minutes when I speak with the person. So
Okay.
that's and 98% of the time it went right from the time we started
Yeah.
doing this managed skill based thing actually.
Yeah.
That when the
Yeah.
moment you speak with someone, you will understand that person is money minded, that person is work minded, how
Yeah.
dedicated the person is, the way they reply, the way they talk, you can sense it. So that
Yeah.
one thing we have cracked. Second thing is like we are unique. The reason we are not that unique, but the time we take in order to reply to our clients or the processes we make is so easy that adapting freelancers also for them also it is easier and for the companies also easier. So we need to
Yeah.
sync both ends and we need to find a possible and the simplified manner to get the work done.
Yeah.
So that's the main goal. The reason being, see, we are not hiring people. No one is on our payroll.
Yeah.
The designers, the developers, the
Yeah.
content writers, all these people are not on a payroll actually. So now in order to simplify work for them, the process in order to submission, making the things done, and for the companies, we made that thing easier. And being in between the communications is more important. That we reply to both the ends in it to ensure the things are getting it done. So that's what we have aged for. We won't say that we are very unique. We are number one company in India. I don't want to say that actually. And don't, we are not even number one in company. Everyone claims that number one digital marketing agency in India. number one freelancing company in India. So
Yeah,
everyone is a number one, but we are not
yeah,
number one actually. We are
yeah,
one of the company. Is just you need to be acceptable in terms of getting the work done in a proper manner, and
yeah.
the process and replying people on time helps a lot in this industry.
I yeah, I completely agree. I think the proactiveness in any job, like not just freelancing, I think the proactiveness of your replies and your energy in your replies speaks a lot more than your work. Like even if you mess up a little, but your energy is there and you're willing to learn and reiterate, I think that will help you get move ahead with your career much smoother than people who are very rigid about, oh, I'll only do two revisions, or I'll not reply after six. I think which is respectable in its own way, but
Correct.
then you don't need you also need to have certain expectations from the client you're working with also. That if they
Obviously.
don't want that, don't work with them. You
Exactly.
can't force someone to you can't impose your opinions on people. You are entitled to your opinion and your lifestyle. Nobody is questioning that, and that is fine.
Exactly.
But at still like especially at an early age, if you're just starting out, be a little more flexible. And
You
then
need to
as
be
you get
flexible
better,
actually. Nowadays, the problem is like if I compare 16, 17 to 2024, the problem is like everyone wants money, faster money, and they think that they know everything. This is the biggest problem. If today, if you go and tell that I'm giving you unpaid internship, they are gonna take some kind of a stick and run after you, or they will just bash you over the internet that this particular company is brutal, even if the person doesn't know anything. I would say if
exactly,
very new, if you are very fresher, like first year in college, suppose you are getting an internship in a marketing, and
yeah,
it's not pure marketing internship, where
yeah,
you be writing something, you'll be
yeah,
researching something, and even if that's for free, and actually do it for 1 month, do it
yeah,
actually. You will learn something. It's nothing harm in learning actually. If they
yeah,
are giving you work to learn and implement on live things, actually, I don't think there's something more good thing to happen to you.
exactly,
But nowadays it won't happen actually. Everyone needs
exactly,
money. Everyone needs faster money.
yeah,
Even if after getting money, people don't appreciate.
yeah,
So that's how the economics and the mindset of people I have
yeah.
seen changing. And it changed
I agree.
very rapidly. I'm
Yeah.
24. When we speak again in 2027, I think it will again change.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think like that's what I spoke about in our very first episode as well. That people like when I was like, I'm not saying that everyone should work at a lower salary, but when I was working at a lower salary, I was just very. I'm not a graduate, so I was like initial days. I was very grateful of any company that hired me. I was always thinking that they're doing me a favor by hiring me for even 20, 30K,
Hmm.
and I was just trying to give my 100%. I never had that attitude कि हाँ दे दिया तो क्या हुआ. So but I saw people around me who were slightly older to me because I was very young. Obviously, I was working at the time that people are usually in college, 20, 21 years of age. And like I used to see those people, and they were just not happy with the salary, and that reflected in their work. It's just like, oh, they're not paying me enough. Why should I put in my 100%? And I think that is not fair. If you're choosing to work somewhere, you need to give your 100% regardless of that is your choice if you
Correct.
choose to work somewhere. And even if you're getting paid less today, that is a circumstantial problem. You can always solve
Correct.
for that tomorrow, but that you don't have to punish someone else for that. Either be very clear that this is what I will do. I will not do anything more than take
Hmm.
a stand. You can't be like in the interview that, oh, I'll do anything that you ask me to just to get
Ah,
the job, and then be like, oh, acha, this is over my pay grade. I can't do this. So that is the reason why I like started as an intern at my HQ, but I ended up as a product lead in the company in the span of 2 years, and because I always was looking to like do more than I was expected. And that was sometimes was problematic also because I sometimes got distracted with different projects. But it's still better than not being monotonous and not even trying without failing. So it's just that's my own opinion about things. Like I agree with you.
definitely, I
Uh,
understand.
and I saw that you mentor some startups. You like have uh, like been mentoring for the last 2 years or so, or maybe more. So, what are some like since you work with a lot of startups now by now, what are some common problems or challenges that you think that there is something that you need to tell every new startup founder that you start working with or mentoring with? It is like, a you just keep a check of these things because these things inevitably happen. So, what are those few things, 5, 10 things that you can think of?
Common things are mostly like people get over enthusiastic and over. overwhelmed by their problem statement, what they are solving, but they
Yeah.
don't take much of the market feedback. So one common thing which I suggest to everyone is do enough of market research, talk to more and more people, and
Yeah.
never talk to people with the intention of two things, either selling or asking money. These
Yeah.
two things, everyone is asking these two things on LinkedIn nowadays in
True.
every. So
True.
out of 10 DMs which I receive in a daily, you need to be that one DM to which I will reply.
I'm
You
glad.
don't
I'm glad I was one
you
of
don't
those.
you don't want to be that 9 DMs actually who is selling me something or who is asking me
Yeah.
money for in the first message.
Yeah.
B, that's the main problem now. Even if I've told everyone, then to people like people will directly drop a message that I'm looking for money. Can I share my pitch deck? Who are
Yeah.
you? Why should I invest? Where are you coming from?
Yeah.
Nothing is there.
Yeah.
Even if you drop a proper message that I'm doing this problem I am stating, and this is thing I'm looking for, and it's in a gentle manner actually, I'll be
Yeah.
replying to all these people. Actually just drop me a mail that I just send them a by paid link actually. So if you want to speak with me, book a call here.
He's
95%
my
of
top mate link.
uh, 95% of people will not book the call actually.
Yeah.
5% who are very much interested in talking very serious, they will book. So that's
Yeah.
the problem actually. They are just trying. So everyone is trying nowadays to be a founder. They just
Yeah.
not write one thing as a founder and they mix anything of a deck. Just make an idea actually. They don't have a deck also. They'll
Yeah.
start dropping message to everyone. They want to see that what they are getting. So that's the main problem. Second thing, second or third thing which I will say is like being reluctant to what you're doing for something for a year actually or for a longer time. So what happens like we see that for 1 year it didn't work. We should try for some more time actually until getting to
Yeah.
a conclusion that this is not working. Let's say to something else. In six
Yeah.
months, 1 year, you are not will not be able to identify whether it is working or not.
Yeah.
For me also, when we launched Pixel in 2019, we got only 10,000 downloads in first year. We did around like 60, 70 lakh rupees of
How
revenue.
did you get how did you get those 10,000 downloads if you don't mind
So
me
since
asking?
we in past 2 years, I was already working actually. Now we
Yeah.
had community of people, we had students groups on WhatsApp. They downloaded, they referred to everyone. All these things
Okay, okay.
slowly happened actually in span of 12
Word of
months.
mouth.
So it was mostly word of mouth. So I
Okay.
thought it's not working, all those things, etc., etc. So but then in the Corona, we got 3 lakh download in that first
Organically.
organically. So someone started making videos for us. Some random people made video for us. It got viral, and after that actually some saw that video, then other people also started making videos. Then obviously people started approaching us also that I want to make video for you, can you pay me? They
Yeah.
thought that we are getting paid promotion done,
Yeah.
but when we get that paid promotion done, that 3 lakh download would have come actually, because then
Yeah.
I would say they are going to speak that now they have
Yeah.
made video by themselves and half of the things were
Yeah.
wrong. That's the major concern. And when you see something wrong, people will
Yeah.
download more.
Yeah.
So, so that's what happened
Like
actually.
negative publicity works better than positive
I
publicity.
won't say negative, but incorrect or
Like the
the
wrong publicity.
incorrect and the wrong information
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
It went like obviously people now people saw that video and started downloading the application, but
Yeah.
this that was not there actually. That's again
Yeah.
start for us also. But any which ways that happened. So that's the main thing actually. So these are a couple of things: being doing research, talking to
Yeah.
people nicely, not always selling and not always asking for money actually. It will come.
Yeah.
Trust me, if you build a good
Yeah.
relation with people, actually, they will be themselves telling that I will invest in a company. I have done
Yeah.
that myself. So
Yeah.
I know this.
You
And
just did. You just did before we started this podcast.
so that is, if you're
Yeah.
doing something good, actually, if I'm interested, then obviously I will try to
Yeah.
do all the best things I can do, actually. And
Yeah.
if you
True.
only ask or talk to me that give me money, it doesn't work. For me, it doesn't work. I don't know for others. For me, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work for anyone. So I have helped a lot of founders and like 10 to 15 founders and senior executives build their personal brands on LinkedIn in the last 3 years. So that's one of my services that I have succeeded in a lot.
Hmm.
And I've been very big on networking in general. And what I realized is that people don't know how to network. Even if they are a very senior executive of some company, they lack they might be able to network offline, but they don't know how to network online because they have this weird perception that LinkedIn is an office space, LinkedIn is a professional space. That is not true. You can be much it We have to shift our mindset and perspective that LinkedIn is a business conference after party sort of space,
Correct.
where you're talking to people over like some drinks or dinner, and you can just be much more casual than you are being. Okay, hello sir, this and that. You will not talk to this way anyone you meet on the street. Why are you talking this way to people that who you meeting on the platform? So I think networking as a skill should be honed in young professionals and old professionals alike, and they need to understand that they should really stop selling and they should start talking, like just like you said, that talking is of much more importance than selling.
And the
And
intention of talking actually, that
exactly,
now
exactly.
the people you are approaching, if you are
Yeah,
very new in the market, or like even if you are very old in the market,
yeah,
the people whom you are approaching assume that situation, that person is in the situation to decide whether the person will reply to
yeah,
or not. And there
exactly.
should be that one thing which will make that person reply you. That's
Yeah,
the more important game actually. So
yeah,
that's the more important thing actually. You cannot just force someone to talk to you.
100%.
Randomly. So what happens actually, to me also it happens actually. So when I write a post, someone comments on my post that you are not replied to my DM. I just simply reply, your DM was not relevant for me to reply actually. And
Yeah,
even if I'm replying your comment, that's very much big thing for me now. So
yeah.
that's how actually, so people want to hunt you in order to talk to you. So no one is
Or
obliged.
shame you.
Yes. And no one is, see, to be very fair, I don't even get any kind of a thing also. Like, don't care enough, like,
Yeah,
doing something, all those things. The people whom I'm committed, like the person whom I've given commitment that I'm with you or I'm talking to them, I will be available.
yeah,
To the people who
yeah,
I'm not giving commitment, they cannot hunt me. So, and
exactly.
just because you want to talk, it doesn't work like this.
I completely agree. Like you can't force yourself on people, and you need
Exactly.
to be like somewhat offering value or giving, or like giving some sort of help, right? Like you said that you were trying to do unpaid internships, so that is one of the reasons. And the same thing I've experienced myself, that I was trying to do any odd job. I've worked in 7 industries in the past 7 8 years. I was never like I have to build a career in this particular profession, this or that. I was like, I need to earn money to survive, so I will do whatever it takes, and I will do it with 100% integrity is what I can promise. I'm good at something, otherwise I'll learn something else. So, but the effort is not going to be my challenge. I might be low on energy some days, but you will not be able to look at me and say that he did not try enough.
Exactly.
So because and the results is often like, what I've also learned is that you can try as hard as you want. If you are bound to fail, you will fail, and that is fine. You should be okay with failing, and you should be strong enough to get back up and start over. That is life. You can't succeed in everything that you do.
Exactly. That's what. Right.
And I think people are not willing to fail, and hence they're not willing to try, and then they just like, oh, I'll give this like one shot everything, I'll make this a 10 page message, and this person has to understand what I'm going through and reply to me. That is not how it works. We need to be more patient, we need to be more nurturing of our relationships, and we need to treat humans like humans, not AI prompts that I prompted it to someone and now he will reply back to me. That's not how it works. But having said that, I think you're part of something called Dhando Fellowship. Right. So, and that seemed very interesting to me because that is something for student like led products and companies. So, what exactly is that? Is that your initiative, or are you just a part of that initiative? And how does it work?
So I started that in December 2022. And
So, it's your initiative.
yeah. So the aim was to help student entrepreneurs, not
Yeah.
early stage, obviously, student entrepreneurs only, who were either
Yeah.
in college or obviously I kept school also, and who graduated only up to 1 year. So consider them as a student entrepreneur. So those people actually, and it was completely free. But that gave me a good understanding that in India, people, you should not offer anything free. So around 6,000 people applied. I ran around 11 cohorts of around 250, 300 folks. In the end, 40, 50 good folks remained actually.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was free of cost, no equity, no money, anything. But it gave me a good chunk of people, good understanding about the market, good understanding of the perspective of now what today the student entrepreneurs think about
Yeah.
as compared to what we during my time what I used to think about. So for every most of the people, it's more about short term, like where they're in
Yeah.
college. If it's work, it works, or I go for placement. That is
Yeah.
one thing. My friend is doing a startup, I also do.
Yeah.
Friend is doing, I will join. Later on, we'll fight and we'll get separated. We'll say that co-founder conflict. So such transfers, everything I used to, I have seen everything during that time.
Yeah.
Running a startup with two friends. One friend went away. Now we are not able to run. I
Yeah.
started, it didn't work. I'm going for placement. It just and it happens in the just a span of 6 months, 1 year,
Yeah.
something like that. And that's very less actually. You cannot figure out everything in just that span of time.
Yeah.
And then again, the major problem, I need money, then I will start. So
Yeah.
this is how the things which I saw. But yeah, obviously found some good people also. Limited but good people. But from chunk of 6,000, if you get 10 good people, the ratio is very poor. So
Yeah.
for me, that was the main concern that from chunk of 6,000 applicants,
It's
really
almost 0.02%.
yeah, so it's like very, very bad percentage if I talk
Yeah.
about in terms of finding good people actually. So
Yeah.
that's what the scenario is. So to them also today also they are in touch with me. They talk to me. They give
Yeah.
updates. So all those things happen. But that was one thing we started in 2023 end. I stopped that. Again, last month or this month I started rolling out application again. This is time it is completely program based. I will
Yeah.
select 5 startups and all those things. So that I'm just filtering out people. I'll find some good people. I'll see. That is more on more that I find good people one-on-one basis. I want to do that. And I might start on different sector specific accelerator kind of a thing
Got it.
that I might do because this thing normal fellowship in generic actually is dried out now in terms of
Yeah.
because everyone is doing it, everyone is done. Now specific
Yeah.
sector based people are doing a lot.
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree. And I think I was just talking about a similar trend that is going to come with Udit recently, Udit Goenka, who runs a VC firm called Tiny Check. And
Hmm.
he's actually working on a model that is slightly different from general VCs. It is a venture studio come venture capital. So basically, he's making his own products.
Hmm.
And like this one product called Niyam.ai, NIYAM.ai. So that is a like lawyer AI sort of thing that could help law firms or lawyers like do their work faster. Like if
Lot.
they have to like look up a law in the constitution or something on some IPC or something, and they can just talk to the AI and just get the all the details in one place and
Hmm.
move faster. Like it will just make them more efficient. So I think these are things that people have started working on, and I can see that I can see that the trend is already shifting, and this is what because even the like funding winter has like brought in a lot of change that people have started moving more towards profitability
Correct.
rather than just raising money and then running with it, running wild with it. Especially after the Byju's fiasco, everyone has learned their lesson. No matter how big company becomes, it does not guarantee success.
Exactly. So this same thing happened with us. Obviously, we were doing small tasks during the time when people were raising more and more money. They were running up the growth numbers. We used to get more and more tasks related to acquisitions, surveys, app downloads, all these kind of things actually. But that was number driven actually completely. Now
Yeah,
people are not that number driven in the company. They are more the revenue driven. So
yeah,
that's how we also shifted in terms of that we want to focus on this skilled one because now people need more skilled based people actually to work for their short term projects or long term projects because they don't want to hire everyone and every other domain in the company.
yeah,
And hiring a freelancer and getting a work done via them is still a same problem which was that in 2016 that hiring an intern and
yeah.
getting work done.
People are the same. It doesn't matter
People
how
are same.
time changes.
It
People are
just
the same.
type of work got changed. In
Yeah,
2016, the same thing happened that hiring a student and getting a work done is very difficult in terms of interns. Now today, in hiring a part-time worker or a freelancer and getting the work done from them is again a different level of pain.
yeah. And especially with the remote culture coming in. Like
Correct.
before, it used to be that only some qualified people are able to afford work from
Exactly.
home because they're good enough. So
Good
they
enough.
can choose to work on their own terms. Now everyone is working from home. So how do you know that who is good and who is bad and differentiate from good and bad? But having said that, I only have one last question for you. And because you've spent a lot of time with us already, and you have given us everything so transparently and so candidly, I really appreciate it. Haven't you like gotten any like offers for acquiring Picxele or getting acquired?
So this happened in 2000. So 2021 was these two things happened. We got funding offer also. We didn't took that.
Okay.
And later on in September, October, we got the acquisition offer also. But during that
How much
time,
was that for?
so it was completely share swap actually
Okay.
in exchange of valuation of around that time $2 million. So that was
Okay.
the one. But during that time, actually, I thought ki it 3 years I worked, 2 or 3 years. I need some money actually if I want to give my company. So that was one thing which I dropped actually. They were not giving any kind of a cash. It was just becoming that I was becoming an employee of that company.
Got it.
I Today I think it could have been a good decision actually. During that time, I could have
Yeah.
sold off that particular product actually, which grew to around 700K users.
Yeah.
So that one thing was there. During that time, it was obviously no, sorry, it was that time 500K users. It was
Yeah.
2021. So that was there. But obviously, it's not about regret. But I did
Yeah.
got one off because that company was into blue collar segment and we were into
Yeah.
the
Apna.
collar. Huh?
Apna.co.
No, 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 nothing. I don't want to name the company, but not the one which you see in the industry.
Okay.
Definitely,
Okay.
you never you. It's a conglomerate, obviously. So they had one
Okay.
R, something like that. So you not. It's not a common name. Just we
Okay. Okay.
common name, but not common in startup. So that's
Got it.
one.
Got
So
it.
that was there actually. So it happened. It happened good actually. I spoke for the entire day. I went to their place. I spoke the entire day. Then the offer was like just more of the share swap actually. So that
Got
so
it.
actually it was good that I got the validation. But down the line, actually, if I see that today we are not that entirely product driven. Knowing that that
Yeah.
time we were only the product driven actually.
Yeah.
So that could have been one decision that I could have taken. No one was there to
Yeah.
guide actually. So that also lacked in terms of whether I could have took that,
Right.
whether I could have resist that. I just saw that कि
Yeah.
yes, अभी अच्छा चल रहा है तो आगे भी अच्छा ही चलेगा तो
Will you
I,
sell this company?
it's like again good plus bad decision if I talk about.
Yeah. But would you be willing to sell this company now? And
So
for
now
what
we
amount?
actually see now it more of like it we are gonna work with someone else. It will happen like that actually. Because now
Okay.
we are not that entirely product driven, as I said. We are obviously freelancers do apply
Yeah.
and mobile application, but that small task segment has been gone down a lot actually for us
Yeah.
in the that during initial days, entirely thing was via mobile application. Now
Got
we
it.
coding is also always there, but after that work and everything happens offline, all those things. So that's
Got it.
now that scenario might not happen, but now the scenario that will happen that we got someone might take us or me to work along with them.
Like
The
acqui-hire
skill
sort
set.
of situation.
Yeah, because of the skill sets.
Right, right, right. Makes sense. I think that's it from my side. I will not go overboard with the time that we have committed to earlier. And I think that's a really great and valuable conversation for a lot of people that who would be willing to learn from this episode. And is there something that you would like to end the conversation on? Would you like to share something with the audience?
So I say this in every podcast. We don't
Okay.
do a startup because everyone is doing it. It's very easy to start, but continuing it is very difficult. So
Yeah.
always understand your consciousness, people consciousness, and ready to adopt those change and be in the long term journey.
Completely agree. I think that is the uh, essence of any entrepreneurial journey, that you need to commit to your not just your product but also your vision. And the product might change, but your vision should not change.
Correct.
Um, and I think that's something I completely agree with and 100% on. I'm on board with. And thank you so much for coming to on today's episode. I will
Most
just stop
welcome.
the
Most welcome.
recording now.